Baby, the last time I checked, Wendy Williams and Nicki Minaj had squashed their beef, with Wendy even calling Nicki an icon.
So when you think of Nicki Minaj, just know she's a winner. She's winning. She's winning.
So, what's this I'm hearing about Nicki Minaj allegedly saying that Wendy's son Kevin Jr. is the one who sold her out? Well, it's not a lie, but why would Nicki be bringing this up? Chow, I'm confused, but let's just get right into it. Okay, first of all, for those wondering why Nicki Minaj would even be talking about Wendy and her family, well, let's just say they have a bit of a nasty history, and it's because Nicki was a regular on Hot Topics. Honey, the same Wendy also chimed in on the Nicki versus Megan Thee Stallion feud and pretty much said she was Team Meg when she said that the reason why Megan got Grammys before Nicki is because Nicki is a mean person.
And she's mad at that Megan got 3 and has only been out for a minute. Well, Megan earned them. You know how she earned them? By maybe being kind to the people around her.
In addition, Wendy also dragged Nicki when she was feuding with Remy Ma. She made fun of her when she did a music video with Future. She called Nicki washed up and insensitive. She called her cover tasteless and desperate, and even went for Nicki's plastic surgery. So it's a lot that Wendy has said about Nicki over the years. However, the thing that really got Nicki Minaj fuming was when Wendy talked about her husband Kenneth on Hot Topics and called him all sorts of things before saying that Nicki had ruined her brand and her entire career by getting married to him.
Because now you've ruined everything about what your brand could be. Again, you're never going to stand a chance when you're with a man who pulls a knife at rape point. You know, and you're never going to stand a registered offender who wasn't even. You're never going to stand a chance with John Q. Public, because there's only one thing worse than touching children and pulling knives, and that's. By the way, he did go to jail for manslaughter.
Chow. This definitely did not sit right with Nicki. And on Queen Radio, she clapped back and called Wendy demonic and vicious while weighing in on her scandalous split from Kevin Hunter. First, she said, "It's not about doing your job. There are people who report the news, and there are people who do it with an evil intent in their heart, viciousness. And I pray for you because I know you're hurting, and I know you must be sick and humiliated. I didn't know that in our society you have to be plagued by your past. I didn't know that people can't turn over a new leaf. I didn't know that your viciousness and evilness was this deep-rooted." In the rant, Nicki then addressed rumors that Kevin was unfaithful to Wendy, and even welcomed a baby with another woman during their marriage, and added, "When a woman isn't really being loved at home, the viciousness is a different type. So I really wanted to pray for you today, because look at where you are now in your life. Look at what age you are. You're sat up there being vicious all this time and paid for that man's mistress all these years. You paid for her shopping sprees. You paid for her hotels. You probably even paid for her GYN bills. You paid to have that baby delivered. How you doing, stupid?" Sheesh, not the how you doing. Anyway, Nicki then concluded the rant by saying, "I know we're human first. We're human before we're celebrities. We're human before we're personas. And I know you must have gone through a lot, but you are demonic. And that's why this stuff unfolded. If I were you, I would go and pray, ask for forgiveness. You can report the news. People do it all the time, without the level of viciousness and trying to play dumb and doing all this nonsense." Baby, that was deep. Now, I don't know if anything else has transpired between Wendy and Nicki Minaj, because tell me why all of a sudden I'm seeing posts claiming that Nicki is saying that Wendy's son is the one who sold her out. I mean, technically, it's not a lie, because Wendy herself revealed in her documentary with TMZ that the conservatorship began after her son, Kevin Hunter Jr., withdrew large amounts of money from her account without her knowledge, and Wells Fargo flagged the transactions, leading to her assets being frozen and the guardianship being established.
My son, he overstepped his boundaries in terms of me. You understand? He overstepped his boundaries, and he was inappropriately using my money without telling me crap about it. Like, is he stealing from me? Look, all I know is that in terms of what I'm dealing with, and that this is still going on, because, that's when my money got frozen at Wells Fargo. Thank God. No more money stealing from my son and the other people.
Basically, Wendy said that her son overstepped his boundaries and was inappropriately using her money without telling her about it. But she also went on to allege that other people might have been influencing her son and spending time with him at her apartment in Miami. She actually acknowledged that as much as her son is a good person, he was a horrible person to her at that moment, because he also had other people in her apartment in Miami doing God knows what. So, Wendy was also asked about her son's crazy spending, and she talked about the time when Kevin Jr. wanted to rent out a boat for his birthday for $1,500, and he ended up getting a boat that rented out for $113,000, and he blamed it on the bank, saying the bank wanted him to have that, which obviously didn't make sense. And let me not even begin with how this boy spent like $100,000 on Uber Eats, $120,000 on a birthday, and other crazy things.
I think the amount of money that they questioned Kevin about for spending was like $100,000. To put it in perspective, Kevin's birthday party that year that his mom threw was $120,000. Kevin's rent was $80,000. Kevin's Uber Eats probably exceeded $100,000 that his mom approves.
Have you ever taken money from your mother's account?
Not without her consent.
But you know what? According to Wendy, her son was definitely not working alone, and she again said that he was probably being influenced to spend her money. She actually revealed that a woman had been impersonating her in an attempt to steal even more money from her, and that it was her own son who had introduced the woman to Wendy. She said, "It's a woman approximately in my age group. This woman on the phone pretending to be me. Red flag, Wells Fargo. Red flag, red flag. And so, red flag. Thank God. They stopped all of the money that had been stolen from me by these people, you know? And they stopped it, and fortunately, I still have money left." Apparently, this is what caused a rift between Wendy and her son, and for those who recall, there was a time when Wendy's brother Tommy went on a rant, saying that Wendy had abandoned her family, and one thing he said was that Wendy was refusing to let her son Kevin Jr. into her penthouse. Tommy claimed that her son flew up to New York to spend her birthday with him, but upon arrival at her house, she did not let Kevin Jr. in.
It's not looking fair to the main person who deserves fairness, her son. And my eyes are starting to open up. My patience is wearing, and her son is up there to spend what could be monumental time with his mother, if she opens the door.
See, at the time, it never really made sense why Wendy would refuse to let her own son in the house, only to find out that it was because Kevin Jr. was actually the reason why Wendy was put under conservatorship. Well, let's just say it didn't take long before Kevin Jr. started facing the repercussions of his actions, because in 2022, he was thrown out from his luxury $2 million Miami apartment and hit with a lawsuit for $70,000 in back rent. The thing is, Wendy was the one who was paying the rent, but she could no longer pay for him, allegedly due to medical and legal reasons. Kev even had to appear in court, and he told the court that because of his mother's health issues, all of the financial support he received from her stopped, including his housing. And he also said that he was a full-time student, but had taken a year out of school and was looking after Wendy. Then, just weeks after Wendy Williams attended her son's college graduation, Kevin Jr. was reportedly issued a second eviction notice from his Miami apartment. Kevin allegedly owed $4,316 in total, according to the property's ownership firm, with a warning to pay rent or vacate the apartment by January 7, 2025. Anywho, this didn't necessarily mean that Wendy would not talk to her son again, because at the end of the day, that's her only son, and she still loved him with all her heart. In fact, during her phone interview on Two Angry Men, the podcast hosted by Harvey Levin and Mark Garagos, Wendy was asked if seeing Kevin would be uncomfortable, and she handled the question gracefully, expressing her excitement about reconnecting with him. In the interview, she also revealed that she planned to travel down to Miami, where several of her family members live, to celebrate her father's 94th birthday, and will probably have a chat with her son if he shows up. Actually, if you ask Wendy, there are two people she blames for how things turned out: the judge and her guardian. She claimed she had been doing important things all of her life, and that those two people don't look like her, don't dress like her, don't talk like her, don't act like her, and they would never be her. She actually demanded that they get off her neck, and in addition, Wendy stated that she couldn't deal with those two people again.
Well, first of all, I don't want a guardian. You know what I'm saying? I don't put it this way. I don't want Sabrina, period. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want guardian. You know what I'm saying? I want to get out of guardian. It's been over 3 years. And you know what I'm saying? It's time for my money and my life to get back.
Well, that aside, now what I'm hearing is that Nicki Minaj has been bringing all this up and allegedly saying that Kevin Jr. sold Wendy out. Allegedly, Nicki has also been saying that Wendy talked so much trash about her husband and how he ruined her brand, only for her to be the one who was brought down by her husband. Guys, like I said, I honestly don't know if something went down behind the scenes to prompt this alleged outburst, but let me know what you think of Kevin Jr. being the reason why Wendy is in this position, and Nicki allegedly calling it out in the comments section below.